Hello. Police have a peculiar way of riding which they claim is fastest on public streets. I'm not so sure. Ah!
Staring at the cones. That's called target fixation, kid. Come on, look where we want to go. This is terrible. Oh my God. Body position, target fixation. Get your feet up on the pegs. Oh my God, this is a disaster. You got the right to be a better rider. Terrible braking, bad body position, no counterbalance. What's going on out there?
My punishment is no punishment at all. And for the next 2 weeks, I get to be enlisted in the police motor course, where they train emergency operators to ride at this nexus as fast as possible, crossing as safe as possible on dirty public roads. This is actually the ideal training for any street motorcyclist who wants to maximally enjoy today's ride and most likely live to enjoy tomorrow's. Unfortunately, service bikes can be dropped 30 times a day. The service can afford a 50% failure rate. The masses cannot. So they're sending me to fail for many to see. I have religiously maintained the hand strength for two-finger clutching since puberty. But look at the left hand of the government. That is 4 fingers. Why is that? In tight maneuvers, your throttle is a liability. 1/4 turn might open 0 to 90 horsepower. That'll blow this keyhole apart. So rev the throttle to 4,000 like a small-dicked man at a stoplight and lock it there. Now I use my clutch as the power applicator. 4 fingers in, 4 fingers out, demonetize the video, and live comfortably in that friction zone of fractional horsepower. Like a stubborn moto bro, I first tried to pass with 2 fingers. It worked perfectly until the 12th hour, when my hand inevitably lost energy and fine control. A tired hand forgets where he's going. He starts to listen to the sirens and screams instead of hearing what they mean. 4 fingers on the clutch. The seat of the law is not for sitting. On a squad bike, you better be heavy on the feet and weightless on the seat. Woo! The fuzz calls this countersit. As the motor leans one way, I countersit my cheek all the way onto the opposite side pan. When I've done it right, this inside arm should be dead straight. That is how far I need to countersit my body for a turn. Why? Witness the freely balanced system. I can countersit this through any slide. Whereas if I hang into a turn, the only thing keeping this system upright is the centripetal force on my tires. Take that away by having to slow down or running over oil or the edge of my tire, and I crash. The police course will put you into front and rear slides. You will be past the edge of your sidewall. Countersit, and you can hold it there. One of my drill instructors put it this way. He said, push that motor down, down, down. He said, ride that motor into the ground before you ride out of a pattern, because you'll be left sitting on top stroking your dick. It's a bit crude, but the point is a wise one. If I hang into a turn and it goes wrong, I'm pulling that motorcycle down on top of me. I watched a few guys get that wrong. It ended their day and it ended their course. But the officers who get it right by counter-sitting, well, they still crash 20 times a day, but they crash on top of their bikes to keep getting up and keep getting better. Controversial copinion. Use the same technique at speed. Not floating your butt around, but police still counterbalance their bodies away from a turn. When we covered this a few years ago, the shit hit the fan, and the fans threw it back at me, because Marc Marquez definitely leans in, and that's definitely faster. However, police need not arrive at an emergency 0.6 of a second faster. They need to arrive alive. They need to not become another emergency for crews to deal with. So, counterbalance. Keeping the body central lets you throw simpler left-rights for faster obstacle avoidance. Keeping the body central means sudden braking will raise the motorcycle towards you for stabler slowdowns. But the safest benefit is sight. If I'm hanging, I have an undergrad's view of the world. Super left, dick all to the right, and nothing of what's past. Whereas counterbalancing, I can see 180 degrees ahead, and I can now see my mirrors gaining a few degrees on my 6. Counterbalance is key for clocking a perp, a POI, the politician I'm escorting. There's a Texas 10-4 for anyone who values situational awareness above fractions of seconds. Shouldn't civilians feel the same? Take flying eyes. They're specially made for motor officers, pilots, anyone who careerly has to wear glasses under headsets. And where vision is the job, every lens is RX compatible and made from shatterproof polycarbonate. Why not click the link below to benefit from the professional's eyewear? Why not counterbalance to benefit from the professional's technique? The only trade-off is that this body position asks a few more degrees from my tires. But look, I'm pacing at 3 times the legal speed limit, counterbalancing, and I'm nowhere near the low side. If you're riding so fast that you must hang off into public corners, you need to keep your feckless, reckless ass on the racetrack. Mick Doohan won 5 world championships counterbalancing. I'm not saying it's the fastest technique nowadays. I'm saying it's the safest technique. It's bloody well fast enough for public roads. So, the EOC course. Pass this to get your wings. 4 fingers on the clutch, fractioning out horsepower in the tight patterns. Counter-sitting to hold that slide through medium speed corners, counterbalancing to keep my head up through the fast ones. That's all it takes, but I must be fast. The instructor sets a time and you clock within a few seconds or you fail, and I must keep my head up. In this course, the difference between where my bike is pointed and where I go next is often 180 degrees. You have to spot the route because there are no signposts or crime scenes, and there are none here. Ride the wrong pattern, fail. Ride the right pattern in the wrong rotation, fail. Right outside of a pattern, fail. Hit a cone, fail. Dab a foot, I fail. And whatever happens, these 2 weeks have improved my riding more than any course I've ever taken. Advanced rider training is the only one I've found that opens the full police motor course to civilians, but police come first, so spots are limited. So what I've done is I've measured the patterns under strict condition that I only share them with friends. So friends, buy a cheap bag of tennis balls, go to an empty parking lot, and make the course. At worst, that Starbucks U-turn will become the easiest trick in your book. At best, we may learn to ride like a cop. Unedited and in full, my EOC exam.